I can't remember the last time I saw you in person.
I can think of the exact last time I saw you was I was sitting on my parents' front lawn during the old home week parade, and it was your whatever high school reunion, and you
Okay.
were on the back of a truck going by. I was like, "Hey, pigeon, pigeon!"
Well, your parents obviously have moved because they're not over on
Yes,
Fulton
yeah,
Road.
they're in on Main
So
Street.
whereabouts were you? Where was
Oh,
it?
like they're right around near where the old hospital was, like that main drag,
Okay.
like across from West Corey's house. I don't know if you know where that is, or
But I know that where the old hospital used to be. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So it's just like two houses up from that.
Awesome.
Not nice shade trees and everything, and perfect
Mm-hmm.
place to. I think the only reason they bought that place was for the to watch parades, because everybody, you know. Anyway, but,
It's awesome.
yeah.
I was just Clay. He's down at his mom and dad's, but he
Oh
wanted
yeah.
me to tell you. He wanted me to tell you that Barn Rock time is coming.
Yep. Yep.
What's Barn Rock?
Well, Matt, like what we, yeah, I know you're asking about future gigs and stuff like that. We kind of hibernate in the wintertime,
Mhm.
and so we don't do any gigs in the wintertime, and then when the weather gets a little warmer, we can play in my barn. I have a nice big barn that's all insulated. It's not heated, but it has
Okay.
a really
Okay.
nice sound to it. And
Okay.
because I bought this old house, and it was an old farm, and we totally renovated everything, and so we have our band set up down there, and it's just yeah, we all get you know. Clay plays with a couple other bands, and Wendy does too, and whoever, and
Mhm.
they do whatever. We're musicians, right? But I don't leave the farm very much. So
No.
no, and then so when the weather gets a little better, then I come down, or everybody comes to me, and
Mhm.
we jam in the barn and we rock her. So
Do you ever
and
have any asides from like just jamming there? Do you ever have like people come out and enjoy like have parties at your place?
we've talked about it, but we have had people that come over, like the odd person, but haven't really had parties or anything like that. But
Hmm.
I'm kind of past that stage, I guess.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Whereabouts are you? You say you're on a farm. Where are you?
Bedell Settlement Road.
Bedell Settlement Road.
You know where that is? It's like right in, not far from where you grew up. So
Bedell Settlement Road.
you go out past Keenan's, down in the big hollow and Keenan's
Okay.
farm. That road
Yes.
on the left,
Okay.
and or else go straight to Richmond Corner.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So you're out Bedell. How far? Bedell Road.
Uh, Probably 2 kilometers.
Okay.
Yeah, my in-laws are
Cool.
the McHughes. I don't know if you know where they live. The
No.
lawyer Jim McHugh. And,
I know. I know the McHughes. I knew he was a lawyer. Yes, I knew
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, we're right out here. Like we have a bunch of some acreage, not much,
Nice.
like 7 or 8 or whatever. And yeah,
Just
so
space, or do you have any animals?
we did actually. It's funny. We when we moved out here, there was a pasture, and the girls had to have horses, and they wanted miniature horses, miniature horses. So we got those, and 1 year was enough.
Oh yeah.
After they got out, and we had to chase them up the road for 3 hours, and
Mm.
then yeah,
You're an instructor. I just went through your Facebook page. Like you're at NBCC Woodstock
yep,
as an
yep, yep,
instructor? What are
yep.
you doing there? What are you doing?
Metals processing department. So we teach everybody that like I teach plumbers how to weld. I teach truck and transport service technicians a little bit of welding, and then I have my own thing, which is not my own thing, but my course is welding and metal fabrication. So it's a fitting, learning how to like carpentry with welding and
Okay, okay.
steel.
So
Yeah.
you went to school to learn all that, then you brought all that skill back to Woodstock, and now you're teaching. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I
Okay.
in so many years. Yeah, like I
Mm-hmm,
worked
mm-hmm.
on. I was a greenhorn when I got out of high school and went work on building bridges when they were doubling the highways, and I was working on a lot of highway bridges and stuff like that, and learned how to
Okay.
weld. And, yeah. So anyway,
So
just
you've been welding for a while then.
oh yeah, a long time. Yeah, just
Oh, okay. I
20,
didn't know that.
25 years or so. Yeah.
Don't you like you're working with your hands with you're welding, but these are very important to when you're like, does that ever cross
Yeah,
your mind? Have you ever had any serious incidents with
I
your
had
fingers?
two instances. These two fingers right here got crushed, so I have no feeling in these two fingers. But luckily, they're not these ones,
Oh, okay, okay.
right? So I can still hold a pick. So, but yeah.
So
There's
how'd that happen? How did that happen?
I just a fluke, and
Fluke. Well, at
yeah.
least you still have them.
I was helping the guy doing, he was struggling getting a part in to fit into another piece, and I was like, "Oh, here, I'll hold that for you." And all of a sudden, it went in and jammed my fingers, and
Holy.
off to the hospital we go.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, you suck it up. But I tell
Yeah.
everybody, my students, I tell them, you're gonna get burned, you're gonna get fingers jammed or crushed or whatever, and it's just the name of the game.
Hmm.
But the college is really, or the not the college, but the industry around here is they're just crying for tradespeople. But at the
Like in
same time,
Woodstock or New Brunswick as a whole, like
New Brunswick as a whole, but
yeah.
especially around this area too, like everywhere they're looking for
Uh,
people. So
I have three things that are inanimate objects, but if I ever was to lose them, I'd be devastated. That's my flag, my ball glove, and a cassette tape that has the first time I ever turned on my mic at NBC Woodstock in the radio
oh
broadcast.
really?
I have those three things. You have a Les Paul
Yeah,
that's 30 years old. That must
yeah,
have some good stories to tell.
lot of good stories. Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. And and none really bad, I guess, or not bad, but you know, it's seen a lot of. It's got some beer spilled on it and a little bit of blood,
Yeah.
But other than that, it survived, and everybody else survived.
Mhm.
So, you know,
I was going to ask you if that guitar could talk, um, what would be, give me the hairiest gig you were at where you were like, you had to make an exit out the back door because things were, have you ever been in one of those situations where things just get out of hand? Yes, shakes his head, yes.
yeah. I was playing in a band down in Frederick. I was going to university at the time at St. Thomas, and we were playing at a bar called the Upper Deck. And
Upper deck, okay.
yeah, there was the dock, and then there was the upper deck, and then there was the attic. It's all in this kind of cul-de-sac, or not cul-de-sac, but an area where you could access a lot of bars. And we were playing at I was playing with Kevin Pelkey and then a bunch of guys I knew in Fredericton that I met up with, and we ended up playing at the bar, and the owner told the singer that that our tab was 100 beer. Not our tab, but we could have 100 beer, and I thought that was so weird. It turned out it was supposed to be $100 worth of liquor. So anyway, we were
Oh,
handing out beer left and right. We thought it was 100 beers.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So all my buddies there were all drinking for free, and everybody. And anyway, the owner came back or came in, and what the hell's going on here? And in so many words, asked us to leave, pack your crap up and leave. And oh yeah, and there's many stories. Yeah, what happens at 2 o'clock in the morning
Mm, yeah.
after being in a band, you're sober, and then you watch what happens. It's crazy. So
Well, you did some bikers. You've been to
yeah,
some biker bashes.
those are the best gigs ever, Matt. Like those playing for the bikers. I've done like Joe Cronkite's Outback parties, um, and then the Muniac
Mm.
biker bash, and those everybody thinks that's kind of a bad rap, or it's a rough gig. No, they're the best people, nicest people you ever play for. Yeah,
I was just going to say, it's probably one of the safest environments that you could play in.
absolutely. Yeah, it
Yes,
is.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly, because they control who's in there and who's not in there.
Because I was watching your jam session from, I think it was like the 23rd. And I was thinking to myself, you must have some good neighbors. But you had
yeah,
mentioned, I just heard the name Chris Cornell. I just wanted to ask you, what was that day like when you found out that he was gone?
oh, just same as everybody.
Mm.
This, fuck, it's too bad. Like,
Mm.
why? He didn't have to go. Like, but depression's a huge thing, it happens that a lot of people are involved, not involved, but have depression. So
Oh yeah,
he was just another casualty
yeah,
of the whole thing. And
yeah.
it's unfortunate, but okay. Can you tell me something? How did you end up being in the Himalayas and got married
Uh,
in the Himalayas? Is that what it
yeah,
was?
yes. Well, when I in the fall of 2000 is when I met Jen.
Okay.
But
Where's she from?
she was born in Wolfville, Nova Scotia,
Okay.
but she's been out here for like 37 years. Her dad was in the CFL for like 25 years.
Oh
So they
wow.
just kind of traveled across Canada to whatever team he was
Mhm.
playing for. But Jen was the leader of this uh, a group. She was taking a group, really, she was taking a group of troubled young people to Whistler to work. And
Okay.
I ended up getting into that program because I just refused not to get into that program. And I could get into that. I was just in a really dark place in that time in my life. And Whistler was like my bright light to get out of here. So that's how I met Jen. She was the leader of this program. And as the program went along, like there was no romantic stuff as she was like a part of this program. But as we got to know each other, she was telling me that she had plans to go to Nepal in like February and asked me if I wanted to go. And I knew if I didn't go, that she may not have come back or we just wouldn't be together now.
Yeah.
So we went over in,
Jeez, and the chance to go to Nepal or an
yeah,
excuse.
well, it's the only time in my
Yeah.
48 years, the only time I ever left the continent was to go to Nepal and spend, I think we were in the Himalayas for like 2.5 weeks. Like we were doing this circuit, doing
Okay.
the
Yeah.
Annapurna circuit.
Hmm.
But we were in Nepal for almost 2 months. Like it
Wow.
was, I'd go back in a heartbeat. It's Scott. It was just, at nighttime when you're out in the Himalayas and there's no light pollution, the stars are just,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's amazing.
I can imagine.
There were for a period of 2.5 weeks, the only man-made noise that I heard was the bell on the donkeys that were hauling supplies. That was it. Nothing else. Like
Yeah.
no car engines, no, just nothing. It was just beautiful. But an
Yeah.
eye opener. Like it was quite an experience. We have Western poverty here, but to experience third world poverty and just be in a country that's so old, like
Mhm. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
stepping back in time, it was awesome, awesome. And we just celebrated our 20th anniversary here
Nice.
a couple weeks ago.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah. 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 I was fortunate enough to my father and I and my brother Jeff, Jeff, um,
nice.
we took a trip over to England. It was like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. And it, like you said, it's just really cool to see like old world stuff. Like, you know, we, well, we went to every bar or little pub or whatever you could manage
Yeah.
to. And, so I remember there was one built in in 1278 or something like that. And,
Yeah.
just, it's really cool. And like, I want to go back to Europe big time. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's to watch TV or to read about it, but to actually be in its presence, and if you
Yeah.
can, like actually touch it.
Yeah.
Like when a few years ago when I had the opportunity to go to the Boston Marathon to see Jill, and then we went up to New York just for like
Mhm.
30 hours. To go to ground zero and just like not nearly enough time spent in New York City. I could have spent
Yeah.
like days
That's,
and days there.
yeah, that's on my list too.
Mm,
But,
mm.
and I want to go to Normandy and I want to see, all
Yes.
that in
Yeah.
France,
Well, you won't be doing
which,
that unless you have a passport and a vaccination, probably.
yes, that's right. Yeah. but that's on the list too. But it's going to be a hard one if going there. But
Well, listen, man. Thanks for
yeah,
hanging out. I appreciate it. Well,
yeah. Well, thanks for reaching out, man. And
yeah.
let's do it again. In a month or couple weeks or whenever you want.